think you should.
Dragon Ball Super episode 128 just came out yesterday by the time I'm recording this, and already a whole bunch of Vegeta fanboys are complaining because of something that did already happen in the episode. If you haven't seen the episode already, then go ahead and watch it. If you're here just to hear, if you're here to hear what I say about what I thought about the episode and how good or bad I thought the episode was, and you've already seen it, then go ahead and stay because there's no reason for you to leave or anything. So. We're here with Dragon Ball Super episode 128, and like I already said, a lot of Vegeta fanboys are really upset because, spoiler alert, for some reason, if you haven't seen the episode yet, Vegeta gets eliminated in this episode. And some Vegeta fanboys are like, oh, the way that he got eliminated was stupid. I'll get into it, but the main, not purpose, but the main objective, I guess, is... The focus is Vegeta and Goku in this episode, and then Jiren obviously because you know he's there, and I mean that's a given, that's an obvious thing to do. But I'm talking about more towards as characters, not just in terms of them fighting each other. Specifically, Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta have good character moments in this episode. Vegeta definitely because. The way that this episode was written was very good, very, very good. And unfortunately, the writer who did write this episode, this is his final episode for Dragon Ball Super. So, unfortunately, after episode 128, we're not going to have him write any other episodes. But if there is a new series, then maybe he'll hop on board. But in terms of Dragon Ball Super, this is his final episode. And I think he did a damn pretty good fucking job. Because... And I say that specifically because I did really like the episode. It was fantastic. This episode was absolutely fantastic. And it's a shame because a lot of salty Vegeta fanboys went on Twitter and attacked this guy who barely speaks any English at that, and just started like cursing him out and say all this stupid stuff at him when they didn't even really need to. They're just salty fanboys and it's ridiculous. So the episode starts off with the mentioning of 17 self-sacrificing himself by exploding himself so that way Goku and Vegeta can, you know, fight Jiren. Vegeta, the first half of the episode is Vegeta trying to, you know, fight Jiren, but he literally has no energy or any stamina whatsoever. And you'd think after the whole fight with Toppo, he wouldn't already have no stamina whatsoever, but then he went Super Saiyan Blue in the last episode. But in this episode, he has no stamina or energy whatsoever, that at the end of the episode, or towards the half of the episode, when Goku starts fighting, he gives only a little bit of energy, so that way Goku can get some stamina back. And Vegeta doesn't even go Super Saiyan in this episode. Not Blue, not Super Saiyan, not Super Saiyan 2, nothing. He literally has like no energy or stamina to be able to fight. So the entirety of this first half, the storyboard for this episode wasn't great because there was some repetitiveness of this episode, but the entirety of the first half of the episode with Vegeta is throwing punches that aren't really landing all too much, and they are landing. Jiren is just blocking it, you know, so it's not like a technical like hit on him, right? But the entire time Vegeta's getting rocked. He's getting rocked every single time that we see him get attacked by Jiren. He gets sent flying with a huge uppercut to, I think, to his jaw. It looks pretty cool. He gets sent flying, and then he starts thinking about Kaba and his promise that he made to Kaba about reviving back Universe 6, and so that way he can obviously go to Planet Sadala, because that was the whole reason why he made the promise in the first place, so that way he can go to Planet Sadala in Universe 6. And then obviously his family, because the entire time he's striving to protect those he cares about, which is his family and his friends. He doesn't blatantly say that he's trying to protect them. Well, he does in a way, but he doesn't blatantly say like, yeah, I'm trying to protect those I care about, but he does say that he's trying to protect someone in the episode. So, and it's mainly towards his family, and like he has a whole bunch of flashbacks and scenes with Bulma, and Bulma, there was reused scenes from past episodes obviously with Hiromi Suru doing the voice for Bulma, but the little bit of actual like pre-recorded like stuff that Hiromi Suru did before she unfortunately passed away was in this episode, and it was very good. So the final piece of work that we got for Hiromi Suru was obviously very good, and it just makes all this more sad and kind of like impacts me a lot more, because it almost feels like the character of Bulma is, you know, gone, even though the character in Dragon Ball isn't gone, but you know, the voice of Bulma is gone, and that's super unfortunate. If you didn't already hear, they've already got a replacement Bulma for the series, obviously, if it ever continues outside a new series, outside of Super, or if Bulma is in any and all movies whatsoever. And just so you know, if you haven't heard it already, it sounds pretty identical. If you haven't heard it already, there's probably a couple of videos out there already, either on YouTube or Twitter or something like that. All you have to do is just do a little bit of research and you'll find it. But the new voice actor for Bulma does sound pretty identical to Hiromi Suru, and I think that's really all anyone can really ask for, is, you know, to have Bulma at least sound the same. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy that this new voice actress is sounding very similar to original Bulma, you know, Hiromi Suru Bulma. So I'm happy with that. But anyways, so Vegeta obviously starts going back and starting to attack Jiren, but he can't land any attacks. But he's still got that same pride that he's always talking about. He's got that same pride, and he doesn't give up. He's still trying to go after Jiren, even if it cost him his life almost, right? And in the episode, Jiren actually, you know, acknowledges that Vegeta does have a tremendous amount of pride, and he does respect that. At least Jiren can say that, but whatever, right? Because Jiren is almost like a machine. And so obviously, yeah, Jiren's just rocking Vegeta more and more with barrages of attacks. He's starting to mention like how his body feels like it's shattering. I'm trying to say body and shattering at the same time. He karate chops him on his shoulder. It looked really cool, honestly. But man, it just makes this all more impactful. It makes this all more impactful, especially for Vegeta and his character and his will to not give up and allow his pride to be completely shattered. And he doesn't just give up, you know. He won't give up until the very end. And Vegeta is almost eliminated in this part of the episode, but he somehow manages to hang on by his like little boot thing. He kind of like hangs off a rock, and Vermouth or Belmont actually asked the Grand Priest if that's actually a technical knockout, and the Grand Priest was like, no, that's not a technical knockout because he's still touching the fighting arena. Then we see Bulma. We finally see Bulma, like kind of like a vision of Bulma in Vegeta's head, and she's talking about like, yo, you can do this. What are you doing, man? You gotta get up and fight. And then it was obviously just, it was really good. It was a really good moment in the episode, and it was nice hearing Hiromi Suru one more time, and something new, you know, something new. But so Vegeta gets back up. He's still not giving up. He's not letting his pride get shattered yet. Everyone's watching. Everyone's surprised that he's just getting up after these barrage of attacks. He shoots a final flash, and then obviously doesn't really do anything. And then he finally gets knocked off of the arena. He says a couple of stuff. He says a couple of things, saying like, "Oh, he's a fool. He couldn't keep his promise." He apologizes, saying, "I'm sorry, Bulma and Kappa and Kakarot. I leave the rest to you." And he actually does tear up a little bit. And I want to mention that that's not tearing up in the sense of, oh, he wasn't the guy who was able to beat Jiren and he's upset about it. Not like how he was back in the Frieza saga, back in DBZ, when he was crying because he wanted to be the guy to defeat Frieza. He wanted to be the Super Saiyan in the moment to be able to defeat this evil tyrant that has been torturing him basically all of his life. And he didn't get to do that, and that's why he teared up and he cried in that moment in DBZ. But in this moment right here was almost insinuating that he is giving his full trust in Goku, because he also shoots off some whatever little bit of his energy towards Goku, and Goku obviously gets it, and then he gets up, and then he gets ready to attack. He actually goes in Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta's in the stands. Krillin and Gohan, I'm sorry, I almost said Goku, but Gohan and Krillin give him a Senzu, and then he's back up. You know, he's not dead. He's back up. They give him a Senzu. He's fine, but you know, he's obviously not in the tournament anymore. I'm stuttering. I apologize. So, the next half of the episode is Goku. Goku is doing most of the next part of the second half of the episode, and he's doing okay against Jiren. He's landing a couple attacks, but obviously they don't do anything. And then Jiren actually, obviously it's more storyboarding of just them throwing attacks and punches at each other, so it doesn't really say a whole lot. They're actually saying that things don't look good because Jiren actually knocks Goku out of his Super Saiyan Blue. Stupid. Goku gets up and he starts saying like, oh no, but Vegeta and everyone is trusting me. They're counting on me to win. I have to do this. He starts charging at Jiren. Obviously he can't lose, and I'm gonna sound like geekdom for a second, but like this is very alpha, you know. It's very alpha in my eyes that, you know, he understands that people are putting their trust on to this, you know, last fighter that's being shown for Universe 7. I don't know what the hell Frieza is doing, but he's not doing a whole lot. But the last fighter that they're physically seeing of two universes, being Goku and Jiren, are fighting each other, and Goku's getting rocked. He's in his base form. He can't do anything. Even some of the other gods of destruction are talking about like, yeah, this fight is decided. The power difference is overwhelmingly in Jiren's favor. So Goku's getting rocked. He's getting pushed back towards the edge of a cliffside of the debris of the stage, and then he gets punched in the face, which I thought looked really good. Jiren starts powering up like an all-out attack to hit Goku, and then he starts having visions of the other members of his team being Vegeta, 17, Gohan, Piccolo, Master Roshi, and you know, he understands that. And the whole time Jiren is actually disagreeing and saying like, oh yeah, trust doesn't mean anything, and this moment is really crucial because the entire time Jiren doesn't accept trust and he thinks it doesn't mean anything. The entire time Jiren is just like, oh, trust is nothing, it doesn't mean anything, you don't need it in order to be strong. Meanwhile, Goku is getting his source of strength and willpower from the trust of those that he calls friends and his family. Meanwhile, Jiren has all his life has lost trust from, you know, his own friends and his master. Well, not really his master, but his own friends and then his teammates in the Tournament of Power. And that it's left him as the last, you know, thing in the Tournament of Power in order to, you know, save Universe 11. Meanwhile, it's the same thing for Goku, but what's giving him the willpower and the strength to keep going and not lose is because his friends gave him the trust that he needs right here in this moment. And then obviously we hear the soundtrack and the score for Ultra Instinct. Goku goes Ultra Instinct. It looked really cool. Jiren's throwing punches. Goku is obviously an Ultra Instinct, so he's dodging all the attacks. And then he hits him with a huge left hook in the gut. It looked really good. And then Jiren shows like himself in pain, and it looked really awesome. It looked really, really cool. We haven't really seen this all too much in the series, like or in this arc. Well, we saw it a couple of times, but like that was like during, you know, the whole time when Jiren was like holding back, so it didn't really, you know, affect us all that much, or shouldn't have meant all that much or anything, right? And then now Goku is in Ultra Instinct. He found the power source that he needed in order to, you know, go toe to toe against Jiren in the final moment of the Tournament of Power, which is 2 minutes, right? It's 2 minutes, and Jiren's all out. You know, he's full power. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. So the episode ends obviously with the cliffhanger. We're getting ready for the next episode, which will be episode 129. And actually, speaking of which, is episode 129. Next week there will not be an episode of Dragon Ball Super, but it will come back in the first week of March. So be on the lookout for that, because next week will be very interesting, because in the previews we do see at the very end of the previews Mastered Ultra Instinct. And if you haven't seen any of the leaks, then I just spoiled it for you, because in the latest leaks that came out, I think yesterday or this morning, I don't remember. Actually, no, it was yesterday in the morning. Yesterday morning. So, yeah. Basically, in certain leaks, it was revealed that Goku, in the next recent episode, is in episode 129, is going to get Mastered Ultra Instinct. So this isn't, so what we've been seeing in Ultra Instinct isn't, the full power and, strength of it. No, we haven't seen anything yet out of Ultra Instinct, because next week we're gonna get, not next week, next episode we're gonna get Master Ultra Instinct, and Master Ultra Instinct is actually coming to Xenoverse 2. So that should be very interesting. That was also in the leaks, and that's also what gave us the information that it is coming. It is coming to the series at, full blast. So be on the lookout for that when that comes out next episode, or on whatever the DLC comes out for DLC 6, or extra pack 2 for Xenoverse 2, because we are going to get Jiren and we are going to get Master Ultra Instinct, so that should be very interesting. But that is the end of the episode, which means that's also the end of the video, and I have nothing else to add on top of the episode other than I just thought it was really good. The storyboard was lacking a little bit at certain parts of the episode, but ultimately it was written very, 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 very well. There was huge character moments for Vegeta and Goku, and I think we can all really appreciate that. And if you're a true Vegeta fanboy, then it shouldn't matter if Vegeta got eliminated or if he didn't get eliminated. You should appreciate that he did have this huge character moment, and it means, so much for it. So just the fact that you're complaining that, like, oh, your favorite character got eliminated at the tournament and didn't eliminate Jiren this episode, it's just stupid. It's really dumb, and there's no reason for you to have to complain about this episode and how they handled Vegeta, because I think they handled him pretty well. And even then, I think it was even better that they eliminated him, because they gave Goku a better character moment as well later on in the episode. So whatever, that's the end of the episode, that's the end of the video. And if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, and if you do like my videos, be sure to subscribe then, because there will be future content coming out sooner or later. I think I actually do plan on recording a video for Fighters where I go online and play ranked, because I think I'm going to be playing Dragon Ball Fighters after I'm done, obviously editing this video. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful life, a beautiful life, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm out.